All right, friends, welcome back. In this video, I am sharing a lot of fun blanks that I have recently found at a store that I almost never shop at. So I'm going to be sharing a really fun little craft haul, and then I'm going to do, I think, about 6 crafts with the things that I have found. So the store that I very rarely, if ever, venture into is Walmart. I just tend to either forget about it or not shop there, but I found a lot of really fun things there for crafting with my Cricut. So I am going to share what I found. The first thing is this really nice pillow, and I'm actually going to do a craft with this today. And I loved this. I thought it was really, really nice. It's this nice kind of sage green color, and I'm gonna have fun showing you how you can put iron on a pillow and get it all decorated and dressed up. I also found a really nice tote bag there. I will say, before I go any further, I did not find it to be very cost effective. So I was thinking I was going to find some things and save a little bit of money, but honestly, I did not find Walmart to be very inexpensive at all. So I will say that I didn't really think that all of these items were, a really good deal or anything. So I did want to note that, but I still kept shopping because I was curious. So I found this really neat canvas tote, and I think this must be their brand, Hello Hobby, but this is a 1-pack, and I love doing fun things with these. I feel like these make great gifts, so I went ahead and picked one up. In terms of apparel, I found quite a few things that I really liked. I found a really basic Gildan t-shirt. This is an adult size small, so I went ahead and picked this up because you never know when you're going to need just a basic white shirt to decorate with, so they're always nice to have on hand. And then I also found some youth items, and I actually am inspired to craft with these today. So what I did is I went ahead and pre-washed these, so I took their little tags off. I personally pre-wash everything that I put iron onto, and I'll speak to that in a little bit, but this was the brand Wonder Nation, and I found these little leggings that I thought were adorable. Isn't that a cute color too? And then I found this youth size t-shirt as well. And so I'm gonna make a shirt, and then I'm also going to get these leggings all dressed up. I think that would be a really fun project as well. Another thing that I found was there was a nice variety of hats there. And one thing that I really liked about them is that they are more distressed. So they're not just a solid hat, and they actually have a little bit of distress marks on them, which I think for me is my personal style. So I really liked that. Good price, and there was a variety of colors. I actually just bought the Cricut hat press, so I'm gonna go ahead and unbox that in this video today, and we're gonna decorate this hat using that hat press because I'm really curious about the hat press. Okay, I also am going to show you a variety of wood blanks that I found at Walmart, but I also was curious because they have a chalk paint there that is called Waverly, and I have heard of this chalk paint. I actually think my mom uses this, and I thought this would be nice to give a little try because, as you know, I have a chalk paint that I never venture away from, but every once in a while I like to try something new. So I'm gonna try this and see. We're gonna go ahead and do a really fun project on this little piece right here, and I'm going to use the chalk paint on there. So you know that I love the chalk paint that I have always used, but I thought, you know what, let's give this a try. I love seeing if I can find things that are better, and if not, then I will just go back to the chalk paint that I usually love. So I also did find this. Now it does say, before I go any further, it does say for decor purposes only, but this is just a nice little wood tray. I love these for putting up in a kitchen. I like propping them up against the backsplash and then having a fun little decor on there. So we're gonna do that, but I'm actually going to do something fun with this chalk paint and this board. So we'll do that in a little bit, which will serve 2 purposes. We're gonna make something super cute and test this out. Okay, I found so many fun things in terms of wood decor that we can decorate, but also before I go into that, I found these little pillow gift boxes. My daughter's birthday's coming up, so I grabbed these because these make for nice little party favors. They are in a 6-pack, again, that Hello Hobby branding, so I'm thinking that that might be their in-house brand, but Again, this is the first time I have shopped for crafting things at Walmart, so I'm not quite sure, but how cute are these? Aren't they fun? This came in 3 colors. There's more of a blush pink and then a powder blue and then this nice kind of mint color. So I am actually going to be crafting with these in an upcoming video as I prep some things for my daughter's birthday. So look out for that, but I thought these were really cute, very, very fun to personalize as well. So let's now look at the wood blanks. Now, I just picked up a few things. Of course, they have lots more, but I found a few things that I thought were really, really neat. So let's see. Oh, I found this really cute frame, and I love this because you can add little vinyl, little decals here and personalize it. Super, super cute and fun. The only thing that I don't love is that it has the little peg for a stand, so it's not like a true picture frame where it has the nice, back on it, but it's still really cute. I think we could do something super fun with it. And I loved the distressed look of it. I thought it was very, very fun. I also really find that my eye is gravitated towards these really neat wood blanks that have the beaded little hanger to them. So I did pick up this. This is called a rectangle with beaded handle. So they're kind of like Hobby Lobby in that their descriptions are so literal. But I like this. You could probably do this either way. Once you remove the sticker, you could have it this way and then have the little frame, or you could decorate this side. And if you really wanted to get really thrifty, you could decorate both sides and just have it interchange itself out. So that's really cute as well. This is the other beaded frame that I found there. Really nice size. And yes, I think it has this back that you can remove. So that's really neat as well. In case you wanted to take it a step further and completely do something different, then you can remove that back side. But I'm inspired to go ahead and decorate this today. So we'll be doing a craft with this, but I really liked it. And I also really appreciate blanks that are grab and go. So I don't have to do any painting to this, unlike some of the other blanks where I would probably put a coat of paint on it before I do it. And I don't mind doing that, but there are times that I really like a grab and go craft, either because of time or because honestly, sometimes you just don't feel like painting and putting a lot of time into it. So I love that there's an option like that. Now, in terms of additional wood blanks, I found this little wood canvas. This is a 6x8. I loved this. I think these are so fun to do things with. Also, you can do the front side like I mentioned, or you could do this side. It really just depends on the look that you're going for. It's fun to even add a little bit of ribbon for a hanger. I feel like these give plenty of endless opportunities, and they're really nice to have in your space. So the last thing that I found before we get crafting is this really cute piece. Ooh, and it actually has a little hanger to it as well. So this is a really fun piece. I was really drawn to the lines of this. I love that look, but then sometimes when you have stuff like this that doesn't have more of a soft background or flat background, sometimes it can be hard to be inspired with how to use it. So what I did is I actually grabbed this little piece as well from Walmart. What is this? This is a rectangle plaque. And I like having pieces like this because you can just layer them. So I am going to use this back side as more of the base and frame, and then I'm going to have a little piece on top. And this is a nice, really soft piece that I can decorate. So I like having these on hand. Plus, once I'm done, it's going to look super dimensional. So if you find little items like this where you're kind of really inspired by it, but not necessarily wondering how it's going to look with vinyl on it, sometimes when you have something that does not have a completely smooth edge, it can really hinder your inspiration. So my tip is grabbing something that you can layer on top. I'll probably add a little bit of chalk paint to this and it'll turn out to be a really cute craft. I'm not going to do that today, but keep that in mind for the future, and I'm sure you'll see it on my channel soon. But let's go ahead and start crafting with other things that I have purchased. I think I'm gonna do 6 crafts tonight, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm excited to show you all of the ways that I've been inspired with the things that I found. Okay, I thought it would be fun and wise to start with the painting project because then I can allow it some time to dry as we complete some other things. Plus, I'm just super curious about this paint. So I'm gonna gently remove this sticker. But again, we're going to note that this is for decor purposes only. So even if you didn't add any paint, just know that this isn't for serving food. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I probably could grab some thinner tape than this, but this is the one that I saw immediately, so I'm going to grab it. And what I want to do is I want to tape off. Let's see if I can get some good right angles here. That way I get this nice and straight. So I'm just lining that up just so on my craft mat. That way I can kind of use the lines of my craft mat to help me line up my tape. And I'm going to actually put it up here because I want to add paint to the bottom. And do I want to add, actually I'm going to do even less than that. So that looks, I think that looks good. And I am just going to take my time, making sure that I press that down really, really well. That way I don't have any bleeding or paint going under the tape there. Okay, and I am actually going to wrap this all the way around because I want to do the edges. So I get asked a lot about how I do painting and paint the little surfaces that I work with. So here you go. I think I've painted once before for you all. It's really nothing special. Honestly, I'm probably even doing it wrong, but it's worked for me forever and ever, amen. So if something isn't broken, I don't tend to try something different, right? And that's just the nature of crafting. We all have our preferences and the ways that we want to do things. So if I do it a little differently and you swear by another method, then keep on keeping on with what you're doing. That's perfectly fine. Okay, let's get this baby wipe in here because it tends to make such a mess when you open these up. Okay, so keep this handy anyway. Let's start painting. I usually just grab from the little jar, being careful not to get any paint around the side because if you do, then it makes for, you know, getting your lid off in the future really hard. Now, I'm just gonna again take some time, make sure this is really pressed firm. And one thing I'm going to do is I am going to paint down because I don't want to paint up and risk wedging paint underneath my tape. So I'm going to paint away from the tape, if that makes sense. So far, the coverage is really good. And with chalk paint, you can kind of decide, right? You can decide if you want to layer a few layers so that you have more of a solid look and coat on it, or you can do less thin layers and have more of a whitewashed look. It really depends on the look that you're going for. Okay, so when I do this, I just make sure, I mean, these are probably super basic tips, but I get asked a zillion times, so I'll make sure to explain, but I just make sure that my brush is going in the same direction, and every once in a while I'll come back in with a sander, but I don't know that I'll do that with this one. Okay, and so see how nice the edges are too when you paint towards the edges? So if you want to stop there, you could be done, but I'm gonna do a different look with this. So again, I'm gonna make sure, well, not a different look, but I wanna make sure that it wraps around. And I'm not gonna do the back. I don't really think it personally matters, but now just go around and finish up the edges. Now you can absolutely go back with a hairdryer to help speed up the drying process between coats. This seems to be drying pretty fast. I actually also like to take off my tape when it is still wet. And I'm gonna go with more of a whitewash look. I think that that's gonna look really nice. But I can see that it's a little bit uneven, so I'm gonna add a little bit more to this side just to make sure it's a little bit more uniform. Okay, I feel like I have pretty even coverage there. Not that it has to be perfect, but if I find that one side has a little bit more heavy paint, then of course I'm naturally going to want to remedy that. But that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now I'm just going to remove my tape and we'll set this to the side to dry. Just going really careful. And then when doing this, you also just want to be super careful that you don't drop your tape back on your project because your tape has wet paint on it. And then it would ruin your project. So look how good that looks. I personally, now that's just paint from the other side, but no worries. We can clean that up. That's why I keep baby wipes in my craft space, but that looks so good. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll come back and add a little bit more with some vinyl and really get this looking super cute. Okay, so initial thoughts, I'm impressed. I think I'd have to do, you know, more projects with it, but I think that it's definitely a contender, so we'll see. It's always nice to have another option for chalk paint. So I definitely so far really like it. Okay, let's have fun with this pillow. And before I start working on that, let's grab my heat press. I'm so excited to get my craft room done because I'm missing my pink heat press. But for a project like this, I would be using the Easy Press anyway. So I'm going to set this to 330. I'm going to be using a glitter iron-on, and we'll try it out for 30 seconds. So I'm going to let that preheat. And in the meantime, I'm going to get my design weeded. Grab my little tool caddy here, and I must say I have absolutely fallen in love with a brand new font. I'll link it down below because I think I used it several times to bring some crafts together for this video because it is perfection. It is the best font that I have gotten in a long time. So I hope you fall in love with it just as much as I have, because I feel like everything I write with this font just looks beautiful. So I used this font and I went ahead and typed out "Let's Stay Home," and I think it turned out super cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go all the way around and get the remaining pieces off. And when you're weeding, if you're brand new to weeding, all you want to do is make sure that you are removing anything that you don't want on your final project. So in this case, I'm removing the insides of the letters. I'm also removing all of this surrounding background because I only want to press the letters onto my project. And iron-on is one of the easiest products to weed, especially glitter iron-on. It's so easy. Okay, there we go. And there is our final little design. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, let's grab, I'm gonna set this to the side, it's all ready. I'm gonna grab my pillow and get that prepped. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just remove these tags. This is just for me and my house, so I can take these off. And I think there was another little tag in here. So I'll just remove this as well. Okay. And while this press is preheating, it only has 5 more degrees, so it's pretty much preheated. I am going to bring my press over and just preheat the pillow. Make sure there's no moisture in there. If for some reason you had a pillow that was very wrinkly, then you're remedying any wrinkles. And then another thing I'm going to do to prep the pillow is I'm going to lint roll it. Just make sure there's nothing on the surface that will stand between the pillow and the iron-on. So I'll just really quickly run this lint roller right over, and not too bad really, but worth doing it. Okay, now I'll go ahead and grab my iron-on. Now, I want to speak to a couple of things. When you are doing iron-on on a pillow, one thing you want to be mindful of is the size. So when you are designing this, don't make it so big that it rolls off of the corners, right? You want to keep it a little bit more center focused so that when the pillow puffs up, then you can still see your whole design. So just be mindful of that. Another thing that I want to mention is that this pillow is very textured, and if you have a pillow that has a lot of texture to it and is not completely smooth, I would opt for a glitter iron-on, because the glitter iron-on also has a lot of texture. And I say this because once you press this on, if the texture were to kind of be seen through the iron-on, the glitter hides it really well. If you were to put more of a solid iron-on onto a really textured piece, then you potentially could see that texture come through the iron-on. But when you have a glitter iron-on, it's a tad thicker, plus it has its own visual texture as well, that it hides it and you don't even notice it. So there are 2 little hot tips for you when doing pillows. But other than that, pillows are super easy. And I think that looks really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to worry about putting anything underneath because the pillow is essentially going to be its own heat pillow as well. So what I'm going to do is place this on, and I'll do the top half first, or really the top 2/3 first. And I'm going to apply as much pressure as I can, but then I'll come down and also, once the time has completed, I'll do the bottom third as well. Okay, so now I can go ahead and come down to the bottom, and I'll probably heat this in little sections as well. Okay, and then the last little section right here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to remove the liner until it's completely cool. If you try to peel it off too soon, the iron-on may come with it and not want to lay down onto your surface. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm just going to kind of press down onto my table because my table is nice and cold, and that will help to draw out the heat really quickly. A lot of the heat is trapped into that pillow right now because it's kind of serving as its own heat pad. So I'm trying to just help get all of that heat out quicker so that I can peel up the liner. So now it's warm, but I want to try to see if I can get it as cool as I can. So I'll just give it a little bit more time. Okay, looks pretty good. So I'm just going to start at the top because that's where I started my heat. And as you can see, it laid down really nicely. I'm taking my time and monitoring all of the edges to make sure there isn't anything that is trying to pull up. And if there is anything that pulls up, don't panic. You're simply going to keep this liner. And if you have any areas that need a little bit more help laying down, you can place this liner right back over, and then you can give it some additional heat. But make sure you keep the liner until everything's done, because you want to make sure that you have some type of protective barrier between your iron-on and your heat source. Okay, so that looks great. And as you can tell, you can't see any of that texture through the iron-on, and I think that looks amazing. So there is one of the little crafts that I was inspired by at Walmart. I thought this turned out super cute, and again, that font will be down in the description box below, so you can snag that as well and put it in your collection. So I did pay for that, but it was totally worth it because I think I'm going to do endless crafts with it. All right, let's move on to our next little craft. Okay, while my heat press is out, I'm going to do these little leggings, but I am going to cool this down to probably 305. And I probably only need about 15 seconds. Okay, so you always, if you're concerned or confused on how to set your time and temperature on your heat press, you're simply going to look up the heat settings for the manufacturer that you're using. So look up the brand that you're using, and it should tell you a heat guide of what time and temperature to use for various projects. Okay, so again, I found these leggings. I did pre-wash them. The reason why I pre-wash everything that I put iron on in terms of apparel is because I want to make sure that it has truly shrunk and it's ready to go. Because if you don't pre-wash it and for some reason your garment shrinks after you place the iron-on onto it, then the iron-on will also shrink and it looks awful. For me, I always pre-wash, and that's just the way that I prefer to do that. Okay, so again, I have a little piece of iron-on. This time I'm using more of a solid iron-on, and I'm going to put a cute little text on the side of these leggings. I thought that would be super adorable. And again, I am using that sweet font that I used in the last project as well, because as I said, everything that I write with it just looks adorable. I'm so jazzed about it. Okay, so my press has preheated, it's ready to go. And this says girls rule. How cute is that going to look down one of the little pant legs? I think that'd be so cute. So now I'm going to just take the side that I want to do. And in fact, do I want to have it more, let's see here. I want to have it more on the side of her leg. So I am going to get the side. There we go. I'll have to be careful because there's a seam on the other side, but I think we'll be just fine. Okay, I'm going to pre-press this. This will help the wrinkles, but also make sure that as I was washing and drying it, that I got all the moisture out as well. And then I will just put a little lint roll. Okay. Now, place that just like that. All right, and then I will apply my heat. Just like so. Okay, add the timer and we'll count down. Okay, let's go ahead and remove it from my heat pad and make sure that it stayed. I'm seeing just a little problem area on the seam. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit more pressure on that top part. It should be just fine. Sometimes it happens when you are pressing on a little uneven surface, and it doesn't take much in terms of being uneven for it to be a little tricky. So I just had a little seam that was making it a little uneven, as you can see right there. And now I'm just removing it from my heat pad because my heat pad retains a lot of heat. So if I left it on there, it would just stay hot. Okay. Now that that is cool, I can go ahead and remove the liner, and then I have my sweet little design right on the leg of those cute little pants. All right, I think those turned out super cute. I love that. It's a fun idea if you want to just find some leggings and personalize them. I think those look super cute on little ones. So that's a fun idea. Again, font information will be down below, as well as everything that I'm using to bring all of these crafts together. Okay, so this is already dry, so we're gonna go ahead and finish this on up. I also, as you can recall, if you watched some of my latest videos, when I was moving, right before I moved in one of my last videos, I used up all of my transfer tape. And I had a favorite transfer tape that I used for a few years because it was just golden. And I went to reorder it, and it was still available, but I saw a different kind that got some really good reviews, so I thought I would try something new. So let's see if this works, and if so, I'll link it down below. But it got really good reviews, and I guess this is the video of me trying new things. I'm not sure. Usually I just stick to what I know, and I stick to all of the things that serve me good. I mean, earlier I even said, if something isn't broken, I don't fix it, but I'm kind of contradicting myself because I am trying new things even when I don't have a problem with my original things. But you know, sometimes it's just nice to try different brands and see what's out there. You never know if you're gonna like something just a tad bit better, right? Okay, so again, because I just can't help myself, I am using that same font because it's too good to be true. And I wrote out home, and I like having a little period at the end. I just think, I don't know, it just is a design choice that I really like. So I thought we could just do a little write justify there. I think that's going to be so nice. Make sure that that is, yes. Okay, so one thing automatically that is like my previous transfer tape that I love is that it has grid lines on it. And I love it because it helps when trimming them out. In fact, I'm gonna trim this down a little bit, that way I don't get more transfer tape than I need. But I love that I can just put my design up against it, get some nice clean lines. And I think that when you have a transfer tape with grid lines, it also really helps you be a little bit more economical with it because you can get more straight cuts, even though, I mean, that's not the straightest, but you know what I mean. So another thing that is like my previous transfer tape that I really love is that there is a backer. So what I love about that is that once I am done with this project, I can take this transfer tape, place it right back over that backer, and then I can save it for my next project. Some transfer tapes, you just pull off like tape off of a roll. And when you have transfer tape like that, then it's kind of hard because you can't save it. I mean, you can. You could probably put it on some parchment paper or something like that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I love that having a transfer tape with a backer on it really just makes it so easy to save it. Okay, so I burnished the front and back. So far, it's working like butter. And now I am going to place that right on. Now, don't let my little grid lines fool you. I didn't do a very good job of lining up my design on my tape, which I really rarely do anyway, but I think that looks good. And I'm going to take my little squeegee here and just burnish that down. Okay. All right. Now, being careful that I don't scratch my wood, I'll just use my little weeding tool to grab a little corner. And we'll peel off the transfer tape. Oh, that transfer tape is very nice. I like it. Okay, I think I have fallen in love with a new chalk paint and a new transfer tape. Starting off the year really well. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so there is how I finished up that little craft there. And again, I can put this right back on my liner and save it for a next craft that is relatively that size. So I'll just put that in my little scrap bin and it'll be ready to go. But didn't that turn out cute? I really like that. I think that's really classy looking. And again, I like placing that against my backsplash in my kitchen and having it be just a nice little soft piece of decor. So there is that final little craft idea. I think that's super cute. And again, the paint was from Walmart as well as the base. And then I'll link that font information down below because, I mean, by this time you're in love with it, right? I hope you are. Okay, so I want to do this little frame next. Take that little piece off the back. And what I'm going to do is I found a really pretty design. Look how pretty this is. And I think it's going to look amazing with that black vinyl. I love that. So I found this and I'll link it down below in case you fall in love with it as well. There were so many things I wanted to do with it. I thought it would look really good on a gray hoodie. I also thought that it would look really, really nice on a tote bag. So that's the fun thing about designs is when you find them, you can really let your creativity just take you in any direction based on what you really feel you want to make with it. So what I'm going to do is, let's bring that transfer tape back in. And I'm going to use, oh, that looks great. Okay, I'm going to use my little magnets to help place that while I trim that out. Okay, so just about here. And I'll just trim. It's nice to have little pieces like this, so I just keep them all in a little pile. Because quite often I use smaller pieces like that. So we're good to go. Okay. Now what I want to do is when I'm given a big design like this, let's go ahead and just keep these in place. What I prefer to do is I don't take all of the backer off at the same time. So I take just a little bit and fold it back. So probably 1.5 inches. Really, the size does not matter in terms of how much you leave exposed, but you know, around 1 inch to 2 inches. And then what I do is I take that and lay the sticky exposed transfer tape down. Now that little piece that I went ahead and folded back is now kind of a handle. So what I can do is just grab that, and as I grab it, the rest of my transfer tape will release from the backer and will lay right down. So it just makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes when you have a whole sheet of something super sticky and you try to lay it down, everything's going all crazy and clinging, and it can make it a little stressful in a hurry. So a little by little really helps. Now I can see I have a little bubble there, so let me see if I can, well, I think it's gonna be fine. I think I'll ruin it if I try to fix it. As you can see, I didn't even burnish it and that transfer tape is already peeling the design up, which is awesome. Okay, but I'm going to do what I always do and turn it over and really burnish the back. Okay, super sticky. I will say it is definitely more sticky than my last one. But oh my goodness, I have no complaints about my last one. It was amazing. Okay, so I am just trimming down as much as I can, because sometimes I feel like if you have too much transfer tape, it just makes transferring it over to your project a little bit harder. Okay, I'll turn this over and remove the backer. Effortlessly, oh my goodness. All right, highly, highly recommend. Only 2 projects in and I highly recommend this. All right, let's get that centered as best as we can. I think it kind of has a little tilt to it, which is kind of fun. And bring it down just a little. And you know what? I think that looks great. Okay, press it down. And then I'll reinforce that by giving it a little bit more pressure with my squeegee. I think that looks really nice. Okay. Ooh, that's sticky. Okay. Okay, so it is pretty sticky. And I can't really tell if it's because of the material that I'm putting it on, if maybe like this wood has a finish that's making it a little bit trickier to stick to, or if it's the tape. But let's see, what did we do last? Oh, last we did a wood, so, but it kind of, you know, it sometimes depends on the finish and all of that, so you just kind of have to really test out products. But oh my goodness, this is something I would think, just based on the amount of sticky, you would be reusing and reusing and reusing quite a few times. This has a lot of powerful stick to it. Holy moly. Not today, Satan. I am getting this sign. That was crazy. But okay, I want to talk about my thought process here, because I don't want to write this transfer tape off just yet, because sometimes I feel like I want to try it on a variety of materials first, because that first project was just like butter. So sometimes the blank that you are putting it on can be a little trickier, and especially when it comes to wood, because there can be certain finishes on it. There can be, now I'm just going through and just getting this all fixed, but there can be certain finishes that can make it a little bit harder to place an adhesive down on. So I don't want you to think, Bethany, throw that away, it's awful, because I don't necessarily think I can come to that conclusion yet. But I will say that I want to try it on some drinkware and a variety of other things before I make the call. So for now, I'm going to place my previous transfer tape in the description box below, That way, I'll place this down there too. That way, in case you're curious on what it is. Because again, I can't make a decision on it yet. I feel like you have to do a little bit more testing first. Okay, so in the end, it looks great. It just was a stinker and a half getting there. But isn't that cute? I like that. Again, my eye is always drawn to this beaded hanger type frame. I think it's so pretty. And again, this was grab and go. So it was already painted. It looks great. And there's another idea of something you can find at Walmart. But again, I did want to mention it a couple times. I do not think that the craft blanks are economical there. I don't think that they are off the chart expensive, but I don't think you're saving any money. So I don't want you to think that these were all super, super affordable, because I will say that was something that I was super surprised at when I was shopping, is that everything was on par with craft stores and everything else. There wasn't any huge discount. All right, let's go ahead and unbox the Cricut hat press, and I'm gonna have fun making a little hat with some cute patches. Okay, so I actually had to take a couple days off between the last craft and unboxing this because we were under construction. So now I'm sitting at my new craft desk, which is so exciting. So let's go ahead and unbox this new Cricut hat press. Now, I have been super curious about this for a while, but I have just held back on purchasing it because I didn't know if I was going to need it or not. I was thinking that the little mini Easy Press would do just fine, but I'm finally going to give it a try because I'm so curious, and I actually really do like to do hats. So this is the hat press, and I like that it's going to simplify that process. So we're gonna test out, see if it's super necessary. And then in the box as well, we have the little base. And I think this is super cool because I'm always trying to find a way to steady my hats. And I feel like I'm using dish towels and all of the silly stuff, but if we could simplify this process, that might be kind of cool. Okay, let me open this up. So this is essentially kind of like a little head mold, if you will, for placing your hat on. So I'm gonna open this up, and it literally just stabilizes your hat. But I wonder if it also seems like it is going to be more of like a pressing mat too. So it will help with the pressing process. It's gonna retain some heat, I would think, and make that a little bit easier. Okay, so here's the hat that I'm going to use, and you just put it right on there. You might have to fiddle with the size just a little bit, but it kind of holds it in place while pressing, which I think is super worth it, okay? Kind of makes this whole process a little bit more hands-free, which is exciting. And while I'm here, let me just take this off. That way I don't have any plastic around when I apply my heat. Okay, so I just adjusted that a little bit more. That way I have a really firm little press there. Okay, so there's my hat. Okay, and then I love that this press has more of a curved surface so that when you go to press, unlike the little mini where I'm constantly moving it around, looks like we're just going to press this on. Now, I'm not actually using iron-on for this project. I instead am going to put a patch on here. So we're gonna test this out with a patch. And then coming up, we'll do some iron-on projects with it with some future crafts. But for now, I wanted to do a little patch on this cute hat. Okay, I think I'm going to need the directions here. So they come with our little press, and I want to know more about the power. So how to operate: plug it into a wall outlet, press the power button 3, which is this power button. So that's on. To cycle to desired heat setting, press the temperature button. So I am touching that, but I'm not seeing it light up. I feel like this is supposed to be doing something. Let me turn it off and then turn it back on again. Okay, I think I'm having trouble with my little press here. So, and it says if I want to turn it off, I can press the power button or press and hold until an audible beep. Okay, so I'm trying to turn it off and turn it back on. If not, I'm going to unplug it and try. But even when I hold it down, there's no audible beep. Okay, let's unplug it. Okay, let's try this one more time. So I'm going to turn it on. Okay, it's flashing, but I did hear a beep. And then to cycle through the heat settings, it says that we just press the temperature button again, which is also the on button. But as I am doing that, it's not cycling through the heat settings. So I think this little guy is going to go back. All right, let's go ahead and grab my Easy Press Mini. I will try reordering this just to see if I got a dud. It's possible, sometimes that does happen, but this seems to be just not operating like it should. All right, let's grab the mini Easy Press and we'll go ahead and use that. Okay, let's grab the little mini Easy Press, turn it on, and then cycle through. I think I'm gonna try and do medium. So that's what I was trying to do with the other one, was click the temperature button to cycle through the temperatures, but as you saw, it wasn't doing anything at all, and it wasn't allowing me to adjust the temperature, just remained flashing. So I think I just got one that's not working. Okay, that's gonna heat up. It'll give a little chime when it's ready. And while I'm doing that, I'll show you the little patches and I'll keep you updated on the hat press. I'll probably just reorder it just to make sure that I do get one that works. Okay, so these are the patches that I got. Aren't they cute? They are a little chenille patch, but they also have a cute little gold border on them, and I thought those were super cute. Okay, so here are all of the little patches. I'll have to organize later, but I wanted to do a little bee on this. Isn't that gonna be super cute? Okay, and I'm back to the old school way of doing it, which is I just take a towel and kind of make my own little base. I don't want to use the base from the other press because I am returning it, so I'll just go back to my regular way of doing it. And it does work, right? So it gives me a little spot to do a little bit more of a pressure press. Gives me something to press into. And I'm going to take the mini and I'm simply going to preheat my hat. And this is going to allow any moisture from the hat to be removed so that it's ready to go. Okay, so now I have my patch and I'm gonna place it where I'd like. I also have a piece of butcher paper that I want to just go ahead and that's already preheated. I might even try, because it's so thick, I might even try doing it on high, but I am just going to place that butcher paper over just to protect that chenille patch. And I'm just gonna press this in sections. Usually the Easy Press Mini is intended to be moved, but because of the nature of the project and the patch can move along with it, I'm just going to press it firmly with no movement. Okay, so at least get it tacked on. Let's see how that is. And that little chime just indicated that it reached the other temperature. Let's see here. So we have it tacked on now, which is a little bit better, but now let's give it a really good firm press. And what I think I'll do is sometimes I like to place my hand underneath. That way I can push the hat into the heat as well while protecting my hand, of course. I'll give that a lot of pressure and get that patch on. Okay, and that's doing really good. And then what I'm going to do, let's give it a little check. Oh, that looks great. How cute is that? Don't you love that? I'm gonna go from this direction as well. So now I'm just going to use my towel as a little heat mat, and I'm going to heat from this side as well, because now I'm given more of a direct, I accidentally turned it off, but I'm given a more direct place to apply my heat right next to that patch. So I'm just applying a lot of pressure. Okay, and I should be good to go. How cute is that? So there is my little hat that has a patch on it. I think that's really fun. Of course, you can use iron-on, but I wanted to do something really fun and dimensional I love how that looks. It's so cute. The texture is really fun as well. And again, I'll keep you updated on that hat press. I'll go ahead and reorder that. That way we can unbox it. And you know what I'll do is I'll just do a specific unboxing video for that press. That way there's a dedicated video to it and we'll really play around with the next one that comes. All right, let's move on to another craft. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring out my Easy Press 2. And let's see, I think 305 for 15 seconds is going to be perfect. Again, I found this tote bag at Walmart, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a cute little design on the front. So I'm gonna pre-press this in just a little bit. I'm gonna remove the handles. That way I have a flat pressing surface. Okay, you want it to be as flat as possible. And then, let's see, is this a new weeder? Can't believe, oh my goodness, I have a new one in here. I didn't realize I have one that's not bent. All of my weeders have a really bent hook on them just from overuse. And honestly, I feel like I weed better with them bent because I've gotten so used to them over the several years that I've had them bent. I didn't even notice that I had an extra one. So yay. Okay, so again, that super cute font. You're gonna see it a lot with me because I just adore it. I think that is super cute. But I went ahead and just wrote out bookworm. Again, font information will be down below. And I also got a new iron-on color. This is Sage. And I thought this was so pretty. And really, I like the muted look of it. It's nice and soft. I feel like sometimes iron-on and vinyl can just come in a lot of bold colors. So I like when I can come across something that is just a little bit softer in hue, and I think this is going to instantly be a favorite. So I'm gonna use this a couple times on this project and then on the next project. But let's go ahead, and I need to play with my color settings on my camera. I got a new camera for the space and for my new craft room. But I need to play with the tint. I feel like it's a little bit green. So I'll be playing with that after the video. And we'll get it practically perfect in every way as much as we can. Okay, while this is preheating, I am just preheating my tote bag, and then let me lint roll that. Okay, let's make sure there's no lint on the surface. Looks pretty good. And here is my cute design. Isn't that adorable? I love it. I find that no matter what, I'm always looking for more totes. I don't know if it's because we are continuously just getting more and more books every time we go to the library, but my one tote bag that I made, goodness, what did it say on it? I did it in a video. It is amazing, and it's like a burlap tote, and I use it for my books all the time. I think it's, I don't know, it says something about Team Jesus. That's right, it said Team Jesus on there. I love it, it's my favorite. But we are maxing it out. We are absolutely maxing out that tote bag every time. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side really quick. With me being a bookworm, plus 3 little bookworms that are accompanying me to the library, we are constantly getting more than we can carry. But the library is such an amazing place. Okay, because I always feel like, I'm gonna give that just a little bit more. I always feel like tote bags need just a little bit of extra time to cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set this to the side. I just gave that probably about 8 more seconds on each side. And I am going to really let this cool. And while that's doing that, I'm gonna do my next little project, and then we'll peel this up. Okay, so Christmas was fun for us this year. My daughter, for 2 years now, she has been asking for a hamster. And my husband and I didn't really know, what to do about that wish, because we weren't really sure that we wanted to, have a hamster at the house. But we started doing some research, and our sweet little girl, she just for 2 solid years. She did her own research and everything, and she wants this cute little hamster more than anything. So for Christmas, we went ahead and we bought her the hamster habitat and all of the things that it needs. And then the day after Christmas, we had her go and pick out the hamster that she wanted to be a little hamster mama to. So it has been so fun. We've had the hamster for about 10 days now, and she is so cute. Her name is Cheeks. We love her so much, and she has been so fun for our family. So my daughter the other day, she said, "Mom, will you please make me a shirt that says Hamster Girl?" And I said, "Yes, that is the cutest idea ever." So I am making her that shirt. Now, I have a new font here. This is going to be linked down below as well. I am obsessed with it. You can either have it, I believe, in a solid, or you can have it in this type of style where you have the little line inside of the letter, which I think is just adorable. And you'll see it in just a little bit. My camera kind of keeps unfocusing, so I'm gonna have to look into that as well. All the new things that come with a new setup. But I know you guys are all the sweetest crafters, so I know you'll be very gracious. So yes, 10 days with our sweet new little hamster. My daughter is the cutest little hamster mama. She is so good at it, and we're having a lot of fun. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about the do's and don'ts, and it's been really fun. I feel like we were nervous for nothing because it has just been a very natural little addition to our family, and we're just building such sweet memories. Okay, so this little peace sign is separate from the font. I just purchased one. I'll link it down below as well. My daughter loves the peace sign, and she said that she wanted a shirt that said Hamster Girl with a peace sign, and I said, absolutely. How cute is that? Okay, so here is the cute little shirt. Isn't that fun? Okay, let me do that a little bit higher, and let's straighten that out just a hair. Okay, and I think that that looks adorable. Let's go ahead and heat that on there. And there we go. So now I will just let that cool. And while that's cooling, the tote bag had plenty of time to cool. So I'll go ahead, there we go. I feel like for tote bags, if I just set them aside for even 5 minutes, that liner peels up perfectly. Sometimes for some reason, I'm not sure, but tote bags seem to be the one garment or blank, if you will, that they just trick me up every once in a while. So that little addition to my workflow of just, really letting them sit and just take my time with them during the cooling process has really helped. Okay, t-shirts on the other hand are always super easy for me. Now I probably shouldn't say that and then have this be a stinker, but let's put that on a nice cool surface, get that to cool down, and then we'll peel this up as well. Okay, so now that that is cool, I'm monitoring all my edges. If for some reason I see anything that is trying to peel up, I can just place this liner right back on and give it some more heat, but that looks great. And check out that cute font. Isn't that so sweet? That's such a fine line, so it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see it. Isn't that cute? I love that little addition of the line into the design. I think that makes the cute little font just so fun. All right, I love that shirt. She's going to love it as well. Okay, so many fun ideas that I found at Walmart in terms of Cricut blanks. Again, I wasn't really thinking that their pricing was super affordable. It was definitely just comparable to other places. So not something that I would say is going to save you money on Cricut blanks or anything, but I thought that the selection was really fun, and I thought that it was definitely trendy enough, and it's definitely keeping up with all of the fun little crafty trends that we see. So loving this sign. I think that's super cute. I'll probably go pick up another one of these to have and create with in the future. The pillow is so fun. I think that turned out really cute. Again, that trick with the glitter iron-on always makes it look so nice and polished. And then I loved this. This was my first time doing a little pair of pants. It definitely won't be my last time. I think that turned out so cute. And I love that font. Again, I'll be doing that font information down below for you. And then of course I repeated that font on this adorable little tray. I think this is so cute and I can't wait. It's going directly to my kitchen for a cute little piece of home decor. And then of course I'm going to follow back up on that hat press. I was really bummed about that, but things happen. So you just have to be understanding about that at times, but I'll wait for the new one to come in the mail and then I'll do a dedicated video on that. And finally, my cute little hamster mama, she's gonna get this cute shirt. I love how that turned out as well. And I'm really impressed with the quality of this shirt. So I was just thinking, because I was at Hobby Lobby yesterday trying to get some shirts for my little ones, could not find anything. The ones I found did not like the quality. And so now that I have really washed this and played around with this and put iron on it, I definitely think that Walmart is definitely going to be a place that I keep in mind when looking at youth shirts. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I can't wait to continue crafting with you soon. I'll have another craft room update as I'm building it, and it's coming next week, so stay tuned for that, and let me know which one of these was your favorite. All right, thanks for watching.